Sometimes French knots can be a little bit tricky, but hopefully the tips that I give you in this video will help you out. So once you do get the hang of them, they are super simple. I guess the key tips are work on a flat surface so that you can put your hoop down, or if you don't have a flat surface, on your lap. But just be aware that sometimes it's really good to have both hands free and practice.
To begin your French knots, push your fabric, or not your fabric, your needle from the back to the front. Now sometimes this requires two hands, completely free. So if you're starting out with French knots, or if you find them difficult, what can be a really good idea is to work on a flat surface so that you can put your hoop down as you're working. And so the first thing we're going to do is hold our needle in front of the thread. So you can see my thread's here, my needle's here. Now I'm going to wrap this around. You can wrap it around 2 or 3 times, but you'll see that I'm wrapping away from me. Now you want to push your needle, you don't want it to go through the same hole that you came out of. You want it to be right next to it. If it goes through the same hole as you came up through your fabric with, you'll likely just pull your knot through. And so you want to have a little gap between them so that the knot can sit on top of the fabric. Now what we're going to do here, you want to hold this little bit of thread quite tightly. You don't want it to be super tight and to pull, but you want it to anchor it. And now, so we're going to pull our needle through the 2 little loops that we twisted around the needle, and just really gently pull the thread through. And as you get to the end, just pull it out from under your thumb. And that's it. So we'll do that a couple more times here. So as you can see, I'm going to just keep holding my hoop rather than putting it down. But you want to anchor, well, you don't want to anchor it just yet, but you want to wrap the thread around your needle. And remember, wrapping away from you, your thread should sit in front of the, your needle should sit in front of the thread. Going to push our needle just to the side of where we came up, and making sure that that's anchored and nice and tight. Well, not too tight, but not too loose either. I'm going to really carefully and gently just pull our thread through. Now, you can wrap it around 3 times if you like. You will get a bulkier knot. And again, so if you use more strands of thread, you will also get a bulkier knot. So I'm using 3 strands here, but immediately you can see that knot is a little bit bigger. Alternatively, we could also just do 1, and we're going to have a little tiny baby knot here. But hopefully you can also understand that if we came up through the fabric, wrapped our needle and went down through the same hole, we would essentially just pull that knot out. So it's really important just to go to the side. So have a practice with French knots. They, like everything, just require a bit of practice, and they are a technique. So I guess the key things to remember are to hold your needle in front of the thread. So the thread's here, your needle's here. Wrap it away from you. And then as you're pulling your thread through, just make sure you're anchoring the tail, that long bit, with your thumb so it doesn't get tangled up. and go slowly. It doesn't have to be fast. You don't have to do it quickly. Just take your time.